Hi, Alyssa.
Hey, Katie.
Welcome to episode 350. The next in our Myths and Misconceptions series, real estate myths and misconceptions for lenders and agents, or loans and agents.
And this is our final myth list.
This is it. We did buyers in a separate previous episode, sellers in a separate episode, and now this. We're wrapping it up.
Final myths.
The end
so many real estate misconceptions out there.
God, so many. To be fair, I'm sure we missed some. So please send us a DM, shoot us an email if we missed your
common myth.
Your myth or misconception. We'll add it to, next year, maybe we'll hit some more myths.
Yes.
Okay. How do you want to handle this one? Because in sellers and buyers, we each kept a secret ballot of our top 3 or 5.
Yeah.
There are not as many of these.
2 each.
2 per. Okay.
2 lender, 2 agent.
I even brought you your favorite highlighter this time.
I love this waxy highlighter.
Okay, so now you have your highlighter and you're ready to go.
Again, we do not make any money off of these highlighters. We make 0 money
from the Sharpie brand's gel highlighters, but they're
awesome.
They're so cool and they're waxy and they.
This sounds like a commercial.
It is, and they don't like
Sharpie, pay us. Send us money, Sharpie.
Some money. Yeah, for real, because they twist up like a tube of lipstick, right? Or a chapstick. It's just, you know what? We're easily entertained.
We are, yeah.
Super easily entertained.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so. Community members, don't forget to add yourself to the referral list.
We are seeing so many referrals happening in the group and don't want y'all to miss out on this community benefit.
We have 49 states plus Canada covered.
Need someone in Hawaii.
Check your monthly newsletter for the referral list link.
If you aren't in community, we'd love to have you, especially if you're in Hawaii.
Join us at hustlehumblypodcast.com/membership. Go, do them. What do you want to do? Lenders
Let's
first?
start with lenders.
Lenders loans.
And I'm not going to share like a whole story, but
please only give us half the story and then stop.
Well, I mean, we could do a whole episode on what I'm about to say next.
Okay, great.
And I'm only saying it because I'm fresh.
Okay.
There is a lender in our market that has never stopped trying to get my business. And I have been polite, blunt, honest, all the things, Is
it a man?
Yeah.
Okay, go.
And just doesn't want to take no for an answer. And always after I decline, he says, well, I'm going to keep trying because I'm going to show you that, I can do more than other lenders. And I had to stop myself yesterday because I wanted to show him that all his messages are about what he can do for me.
You.
Do you want me to throw a get together for you and your clients? Do you want lunch? Do you want
to the concert?
Yeah,
what can I give you
for me?
Bribes for you.
And I wanted to. So on the same token, I have another lender who I'm on their auto text list.
Okay.
And this is where this sort of applies. Okay.
Okay.
And at first I was annoyed because I'm like, you can't unsubscribe from it.
You're just getting the text.
I'm getting the text once a week, every week. It's clearly automated. But it's actually really good information.
You're like, you know what? I'm interested.
And I actually do like this other lender. I don't have a working relationship with him. But here's the thing, and here's what I told the other guy. There are so many good lenders out there. Yeah. I wish I could feed them all.
No.
But I can't. And I have a list of people and the programs they offer.
Right.
And I know who to place my people with.
Right.
Okay. So it's not like what I wanted to tell the lender is, look, you are trying to just win me over by bribing me. Old boy over here that is sending me a text once a week, I read this whole text message.
Right.
It makes me more educated when people ask me.
It improves your business.
It improves my business. Yeah. It gives me value. It lets me know what the rates are right now, the par rate, what his loan programs are. And if I had all the business in the world, I would love to send more business to this lender that is texting me.
Well, out of the 2 of them, you're more likely to send it to your text friend.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I wanted so bad to screenshot all the messages I get from this other guy and be like, this is how you get business.
Yeah.
What you are doing is pushing people away.
Well,
Yeah.
there are some agents that will jump on that bandwagon.
And that is what we need a whole separate episode on.
I see.
But we're going to start with our first lender myth, which is all lenders offer the same loans.
That is a great one to start with.
And it is actually what sparked me sharing that story because let's call the other lender the valuable lender? They're both texting. Let's call valuable texter. Okay. Valuable texter will even end it with being like, and don't forget, if you have any nurses, law enforcement, or teachers, we have the Keys for Service program where we're giving them money for their down payment. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I forget, Old boy has never once shared with me
what he does,
what he offers, what is better about him.
Like what makes him special besides spending money on you.
Right.
We don't know.
If you are the public listening to this and your realtor is referring you to a lender, I hope they can tell you why they're referring you to this lender. And the answer should not be, they're my best friend, they buy my lunch, they pay for my leads. The answer should be, because you're a teacher and they have the teacher program and it's going to be the best deal you're going to be able to get.
Right.
Or whatever the answer may be.
Yeah. Well, while we're on loan programs, like, not every lender does a VA loan.
Right.
If you have a veteran buyer, maybe they don't even know they're eligible for a VA loan, but you need to put them in touch with a lender who can explain that program to them.
Yes.
Like you can't just, it's sort of like, look, most all lenders do a conventional loan. Some type, right? So some type of conventional loan, maybe they've got different down payments, maybe they've got whatever. Some do and don't do FHA and VA loans.
I've never heard of a lender that never did FHA or VA.
I mean, some will just push everyone over.
Okay. That's a really good point.
Right?
Because I remember when one of the lenders that I was using a bunch because she was constantly pushing this first-time home buyer grant that Louisiana had. And she was really pushing the information of how awesome it is, what the requirements are, what the steps are. And I was like, I have so many people that could use this grant. And she let it know it's a grant. Once the money runs out, it's gone. So I used her for like several years because she was sharing this information. And what I didn't realize is that, because I had another lender trying to get my business. I said, listen, this first-time home buyer needs to go over here for this grant.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, our company can do any grant.
Well, you didn't tell me that.
And I went, I didn't know that. How many have you done? He's like, well, I haven't ever completed one, but anything that is offered by the state, we can also do it.
Right, and when you become an expert, come back to me.
Exactly. And I talked to the lender who kind of like learned about this program and specialized it. And she said, I will say this. Any lender can do it, but on our side as a lender, there are a lot of extra steps. It's a lot of extra work, and we do make a little bit less money on it.
So they're not encouraged to send you there.
Right. But she saw an opportunity and specialized in it, and even brought on another loan officer that only works those files. And this loan that is supposed to take like 50 days to close, she's like 35. Like she's like a well-run machine.
Because she knows how to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same thing with like renovation loans.
Yes.
Most lenders hate them and don't even want to touch them.
Right. Extra steps.
You have to find the one that made that their thing.
Yeah, a niche.
Yes.
Or like the doctor loans. We have one, and it's a big bank that does them locally, but that's the place where everyone goes to this one particular person at this one particular bank, and you can get 100% doctor loan.
Yeah, up to like $1 million.
This is not something that every single mortgage broker lender offers. Not every bank, but they're all different. So the most important thing you do need to learn about your lenders, whether you're a buyer listening or an agent, is like, what are the programs they offer?
Yes.
What are the choices for you? You don't just have one choice.
Right.
You have many choices.
So many.
They all have pros and cons.
Yeah.
Okay.
So even to our agents listening, I don't think having like 3 lenders on your list is really enough. Like, I think you need to, anytime you get an email from a local lender, I'm talking about local people in your market, And don't just like, I think you should read it. If it's like, oh, we have this new program,
Yeah.
we have this new grant, like keep a note in your phone of all the emails you get and categorize like who's offering what right now.
We had a local bank that got into some hot water over some of their lending practices. And as a result of whatever it was, a lawsuit or whatever, they had to offer a certain number of these like lower priced loans in certain areas.
Yeah.
And people didn't really know. And they were trying to meet a quota and they were like pushing hard and they were like really offering better rates in areas that, you know, were very common, but people had no clue. And they were like, we have to put together a certain number of these loans as a term of whatever happened. So it's always changing.
Yeah.
You just have to be in the know.
Right.
Okay. You want to do the next one?
Yeah. The next myth is I should not talk to a lender until I am ready to buy.
I mean, that's about as backwards as it gets.
Yeah.
Once you're ready to buy, it's almost too late.
Yes.
You need to know before you get ready.
I've had many pre-approval meetings where they were given homework.
Yeah. Oh, that takes months.
Yeah. The longest homework I've ever had was 8 months.
Okay.
And,
I mean,
yeah.
I had a girl who had a great job. Her credit score wasn't bad, but she was waiting for like an old bankruptcy to fall off.
Yes.
And it had like a hard date. And it was like a 2-year went like,
yeah.
She could, if she didn't have that, she would have been ready and approved.
Yeah.
But they were like, you have to hit this date. So you have 2 years to wait. If you don't go, and it doesn't mean you had something major like a bankruptcy, but maybe your credit card balances are all too high and you just need to take a little bit off to get into a different price range or a different, you know, rate. You have to do the work.
Yes.
Homework. And it takes time. And in the same token, I think sometimes people just don't even apply, don't even think they can buy because they're like, I have no money. I don't think I'm going to be able to qualify for anything. Like you should find out.
I've had many of my friends and I'm like, I know they're like, my credit's terrible. I'm like, I hear you. Let her look at it and let her give you the next the 5 things you need to work on in the next 12 months.
Yeah.
We're not coming in to see if you can buy a house. We know you can't. We're coming in to see in the next 12 months, what are 3 things I can do to prepare so that I'm ready?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. One of the lenders that I use, all lenders I think can do this, but like can show you your rescore, right? So if you do X, like if you pay down these 3 credit cards to this, if you pay off your car, if you do this, if you do that, your credit score will go from 600 to 650 or like they can literally put in a scenario in the machine and it tells you
spit it out.
What's going to happen when you do that.
That's awesome.
So they'll tell you the easiest way to get to where you need to go. And also they'll tell you some of the things like there are certain things like medical expenses that they're like, don't waste your money paying that off because we're not weighting those the same as we're weighting your credit card balance. So you really need the lender to give you that plan.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah, that was good.
All right, let's do the next one.
The next myth is that the rate is all you should shop.
Oh, gosh.
Well, this lender's giving me a better rate.
I'm like, did you pay for it?
Did you pay for it?
What do you mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, sometimes the lender builds in a buy down.
Yeah, right.
You don't even see it, and all of a sudden there's a $600 fee there. That's how you got, this rate.
I always, and in our email templates, when it's like pre-approval needed, we have a whole guide of telling them this is when you talk to the lender, you need to tell them that you want the par rate. You don't want a rate reflected with any buy downs. And if you're shopping, you need to go to the next lender and say, whatever rate you quote me, I want the par rate.
Can you tell me what that stands for? Do you know?
The par?
Yeah.
The par, it's not an acronym. It's like par, the benchmark, par for the course.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I've never heard this term before. Not that I'm not saying it's wrong. I have never heard it used.
I think it's like the benchmark. So every day, and I know we're going to get emails from all the lenders who want me to go into the 45-minute explanation
of how rates are set?
Of how rates are set.
No, thank you.
So my disclaimer is there are things that set the rate.
Right.
Okay. Many things that we're not going to deep dive.
It's like the full economy.
Right.
I can't go over the full economy over this.
Yes. So,
so you're saying I want to ask my lender for the par
rate. And I get that verbiage because some of the
going.
lenders I work with are like, I'm just quoting them the par rate. Like, that's what the rate is today. So every day, the Federal Reserve releases the interest rate.
Okay.
And then I'm saying par. That's the benchmark.
Okay.
If you want it lower than that, it's going to depend on your personal credit score, your personal income, like your buyer portfolio.
Okay.
And also how much you want to pay to buy it down. So sometimes lenders will send over a fee sheet.
Right.
And at the top, it'll say, 5.5%.
You're like, wow.
Wow.
But that's not the par
We're
rate.
recording this as of March 2026, where 5.5 would be great.
It would be super great.
Super great. So they go, wow, this is awesome. And then they're like, oh, Alyssa, I'm going to go with this lender because your lender quoted me 6.2. And I said, okay, let's get a fees worksheet. We compare them side by side and I see, okay, they are charging you $9,000 for this rate. Are you okay with that? And then I'm like, if they say no, I say, go back to this lender and say, hey, I don't want it quoted with a rate buy down. I want today's rate.
Okay, I got you a definition.
Show me.
You're right. I've never used or heard that term. A mortgage par rate is the baseline interest rate a lender offers a borrower with no added fees, discount points to lower the rate, and no lender credits to raise it.
Yes.
It is the standard rate reflecting the borrower's risk profile based on credit score, loan-to-value ratio, and property type before any adjustments.
Yes. Yes.
Hopefully that's correct.
Yes. And I always just thought of it as like when she would say the par rate, I was always like golf.
Yeah.
Par for the course.
Okay, sure. Got it.
So then in the end, 6.2 was actually a better deal because my client didn't have $9,000. And the other lender was like, well, you just asked the seller to pay for it. I'm like, well, we're also asking the seller to pay for our closing costs. And in this price point, I don't think we're going to get $25,000
right
to go towards.
You just get the seller to pay for it.
Yeah, just get the seller to pay for it.
Yeah, it's just that easy.
Well, that's a lot. It would be different if it was like $2,000.
Right.
But $9,000?
To get the rate down.
And I can't tell you how many times you want to be valuable to your buyers. I can't tell you how many times I have had adults who have had multiple mortgages go, I have never done a deep dive in the fees worksheet and compared them. I just trusted that my relationship with this bank was giving me the best deal when actually there has been 2 very specific times where I was working with high-level executives and I could not believe their fees worksheet.
It was so bad.
And they were like, I thought I had a relationship with this bank, so I was getting a deal. I actually now feel like because they know I'm successful and make money.
They charge me more.
And didn't ask questions because I was such a good client, didn't ask any questions, that I was being charged so much more.
Yikes.
So be the voice for your people and educate them that there's rates and there's fees. And we also need to take local service into that.
Yes.
Just because you find someone online, that's not what we're going for.
Nothing worse than an online mortgage rate quote. Like, well, how long is it going to take you to find them? What if you have a problem? What if an issue comes up during your appraisal? What happens if the line gets too long and all of a sudden they said they could close one day, but really that's going to take 4 or 5 more days and the seller doesn't want to extend?
Yeah.
Or you already paid for your moving truck. Or even worse, all your stuff's already in the moving truck.
What you going to do?
What are you going to do?
When your lender is across the country.
I've had some
or in the cloud.
Really bad experiences with the big bank.
Yeah.
Doing something, it's Friday and we're supposed to close in 2 hours. But as it turns out, our docs department is backed up. So we'll be closing on Monday.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
That's really not just like okay, no problem.
Yes.
You want them to sleep in the U-Haul?
Right.
And pay for every day that they had to keep it extra? No. All right. Go for the next one.
Next myth. Having a pre-approval means my rate is locked.
Rate locks.
Woo.
I mean, the rate doesn't lock forever.
No.
They're just quoting you a number based on that day.
Today at this time.
Right. What if you don't buy for 3 months?
Yeah.
You have to start again.
Making sure. And for the most part, the fluctuation should be minor.
One would hope.
But like even as April.
Well, this is going to air in April, yes.
Okay, so like April 2026. I had a client, first-time home buyer, very sensitive to monthly note, okay? Get pre-approved. And then very quickly, we found a house, like within 2 weeks.
Okay.
You think it's not going to change much. Well, thank God, before I wrote the offer, I emailed the lender and said, we found a house. Here's the actual address. Here is the actual list price. How do our numbers look? How much should I ask for in closing costs? And she was like, you aren't going to like this. I was like, just tell me. And she said, well, because... So when she quoted it, we were just in sort of like a nothing eventful. But in the 2 weeks that it took us to find a house is when the war in Iran started and we had the oil crisis. The rate went up. It went from 6.0 to 6.425, which is a big difference in his monthly note.
Yeah.
And I was thinking before I emailed her what we could offer. But then I had a talk with my buyer who still needs a house. I'm like, well, if you're not comfortable with this monthly note, we need to start over with a new price point.
Yeah.
We can, if you have cash, we can try to buy this rate down.
Yeah.
And so the lender ran us all these scenarios. If you get this much, it'll be this. If you get this much, it'll be this. So we ended up needing so much cash that we offered list price, which I really felt okay with because the comps, like I felt like he wasn't overpaying.
Okay.
So I said, let's just tackle this rate and these closing costs. And we ended up getting like $12,000, which covered all of his closing costs.
Okay.
And let us do a rate buy down.
Okay.
And we got his monthly note to a point where he felt comfortable.
Okay.
So if I hadn't checked.
Yeah, you could have been in a big mess.
He would have been.
Or more like a cancel during inspection.
We would have maybe canceled during inspections.
Yeah.
Because we would have not asked for near what we needed.
Yeah.
And then you have to go back to a seller.
Yeah, and
I would have had to go back.
The seller's already counted those chickens.
Yes.
So they're like, no.
I would have to go back to the seller. If I hadn't checked first, I would have had to go back to the seller and say, listen, the rates have changed dramatically since 2 weeks ago when he ran numbers, and we didn't know that. So I either need $6,000 or we have to cancel.
Yeah. That's not going to make for a very happy seller.
And it doesn't make you look very professional.
And a very difficult inspection. Yeah. Because if there's anything remotely you wanted to have done, they're not going to want to do it.
Yeah. And if you didn't educate your buyer, like say the lender just was like, oh, great, you're under contract, and sends the buyer all the docs to e-sign. Yeah. Doesn't explain anything. Buyer e-signs everything.
This happens.
I know.
This happens.
God, we need a whole episode.
Okay.
So buyer e-signs everything. And then you go through your inspections and you're out of your due diligence period now. And then all of a sudden we're approaching closing and the lender starts emailing closing disclosures in your final monthly note.
Yeah.
And the buyer I've had this happen, not on my side, but I had a buyer try to cancel a contract like a week before closing, past inspection, past appraisal, because he did not feel comfortable with his monthly note.
Like, why didn't you know what it was?
And I called the lender and said, but is he still pre-approved? And the lender said, yes, he is still pre-approved. I said, so his financing is not denied.
No.
And the lender said, I cannot issue a denial letter. He's not comfortable.
Did he close?
I made him close. He was asking for permission for us to do a mutual cancellation. And I was like, no, sir, I'm sorry. No, sir.
How did his agent react to that?
She thought I was a meanie.
You're like, I'm in charge of my seller.
I'm sorry that you didn't do your job and educate your client, but we are going to close for my seller. So,
okay. Interesting. Hey, y'all, it's Katie. Tell the truth. How many courses are sitting in your inbox right now that you swore you'd finish? Well, here's your chance to actually do it. Agent Systems 101 is back on Monday for a one-day re-release. And I'm teaching Agent Systems live. You show up, I teach, you build the systems with me. It's half off and Monday is your only window to buy. This is the last live teaching of Agent Systems for 2026. Grab it at hustlehumblypodcast.com/deals, that's DEALS, and come build with me. while we're on the rate lock, let's talk a little bit about what it means to rate lock. So at some point, your lender's going to ask you, do you want to lock in this rate? I don't think you're required to have a contract in place for a house, but it will expire. Your rate lock will expire. Let's just say it's a 30-day rate lock. They have all different lengths, right? 30,
and I think
60.
the longer you go, it gets a little bit higher.
Correct. But let's just say you do a standard 30-day. Well, you got to close something in the 30 days. If you don't close by day, let's just say you have a contract. You get to day 30 and something happens and you have to extend for some reason. Then the lender's going to say, okay, well, your rate lock is expiring and maybe rates have gone up some. So now you have to pay several $100s to extend your rate lock.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's money associated with keeping that rate in place.
Right.
Or you're stuck with the new rate. Now, also a great question for a buyer or even an agent is to ask the lender you're working with, do you float rates down?
Right.
What if we locked in at 6.4 and now by the time it closes at 6.2, are you going to let me float this rate down?
Right.
Some do, some don't. Right?
Yeah.
So you have to know. Questions for upfront.
So many upfront questions. And I recently wrote an offer and the listing agent said, we need a 60-day close. And I said, then we're going to need $2,000 to buy the rate down to what the 30-day rate lock is.
Yeah.
So if you want a 60-day close, we can make that work, but you're going to need to pay for it.
Because we want the rate today.
We want the rate today.
Yeah.
And so, yes.
That makes sense. Did they pay?
Yeah.
That's fine. It's just like rent, really.
Yeah.
For them.
It was kind of like rent.
Like, we got to stay.
But then
Okay. Next up.
Let's see.
We're on rate drops.
Rate drops make things normal again.
Well, I'm going to do air quotes on normal.
What is normal?
I don't even know anymore.
There's no normal.
There's no normal. But rate drops can maybe get people off the fence.
Yeah.
Maybe it will put some extra people in the market so then it gets a little bit more competitive. I don't know that it makes anything normal.
No. If they go too far, we have a COVID situation.
Right.
Where we're making spreadsheets of all the offers we received.
Because suddenly everyone's like, well, I'm going to buy a house if the rate's 3%.
Yeah, basically.
Why would I not?
Right.
That's crazy.
I think little bumps right now are much appreciated. Like when we saw 5.99 a few times in the quarter one,
I know.
there was a little buzz. But also my buyers were like, oh, I wish I had the house right now, but I don't.
That 5.99 didn't last very long.
No, it was like a weekend. One weekend where it was like, hurry, lock a rate.
And now it's like, I think this morning when we recorded this is in March, but it was like 6.4.
Yeah.
6.3.
It's still up there.
Okay.
Okay, the next rate myth. Online mortgage calculators are accurate.
I mean, what are they calculating?
So I was told, especially by our Louisiana title attorneys, that a lot of states do their taxes differently.
Yes.
Especially Louisiana, because we're still under the
Napoleonic Code.
Yes. Yes, you're so smart.
Thank you.
So it may give you a ballpark, but I've had situations where clients came in and got pre-approved and said it was about what they were expecting. And I've had clients come in and get pre-approved and go, that is nothing what the online calculator said.
Right, because we need to know, is it calculating in your insurance and taxes? Does it actually know what those run in our area?
Right.
Like, is it just telling you principal and interest? Which, that's pretty black and white.
Yes.
If you know the interest rate and you know the amount that you're financing, the principal and interest is what it is.
And you may know the par rate that day, but you may not know that your rate's going to be a little bit higher because of your credit score.
Right. Or your debt to income ratio. Yes. Something is going on here.
I would not trust that for sure. When you really need to know, email a lender. They don't mind.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Next myth. I can finance my new furniture while waiting to close. I could also go buy a car.
Right.
Or
just no.
No. The answer is no.
You can't do that.
No.
The answer is no. You can't acquire any new credit. You also, I mean, to be fair, can't take in a check for a random $20,000 without explanation. The bank doesn't want you to get a big sum of money or spend a big sum of money or acquire any new credit lines.
They don't want anything to change.
Don't change because you've been approved based on that credit report. No changes.
Yep.
Definitely don't buy a car. You want to go after closing and buy a car? Live your life.
Mhm.
You want to go after closing and buy a new fridge? Go ahead. I even worry like when people are like, oh, I'm not getting credit to buy these appliances. I'm using my cash. I'm like, okay, but check with your lender. Check with your lender. Do you need to have a certain number of cash in the bank? You can't just go down to zero.
Right.
You can't also just put $10,000 in the bank because your mom was like, I'll pay for your appliances. And then bloop.
Yeah. Here's $10,000.
Just ask your lender. When in doubt, just ask your lender. And again, a case for having a local lender who answers your calls.
Yep.
If you're working with XYZ giant bank you're calling a 1-800 number, it's going to be a lot harder to find out the answer to these little nuanced questions.
Yeah.
Okay. What's next?
I can switch lenders at any time.
Oh my God.
Dear Lord.
What a nightmare.
Yeah.
I have had buyers who I had to get very stern with,
Oh.
who were like, I think I'm just going to check another lender, or I saw so-and-so advertising a different rate. And I'm like, one, no.
Like after you're under contract?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I mean, you're probably a rarity as far as how open you are in talking about money with your clients and how firm you are about the process.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm loosey-goosey, but I have just had some buyers who were just so anxious or so pushy or just so worried about the rate that they're like, oh, well, I saw this, I might look. And then I'd have to be like, that's not what we're doing here. If you want to shop around before, that's fine. And again, please don't look just at the rate.
Yeah.
This is not apples to apples. So you cannot just switch lenders.
Our purchase agreement reads that once you have a signed executed contract, you have blank calendar days to fill out formal application with your lender, get all your docs submitted. I usually put 5 days there.
Yeah, I've seen 7 sometimes, but not more than that. And in that point, your lender that you've chosen has to provide an intent to proceed letter back to the seller saying, this client has signed the disclosure, said, yes, we're moving on with the loan, and here is their intent to proceed.
Yep.
Okay. After that, we're not switching.
Okay. Final lender myth on our list. Getting pre-approved will hurt my credit. I don't want to get pre-approved.
Yeah, it's going to pull my credit report.
I was always told that mortgage inquiries are a soft pull.
Okay.
And that you can get up to 3.
Okay.
If you start going crazy and having all these people, yes.
Maybe.
It could ding you a little bit. But the reason that they do it this way is because they want you to shop.
Yes.
They want you to make the best financial decision for you. And if that means shopping lenders before you make a decision, they don't want you penalized for that. So that is false.
Okay. Do you have your favorites?
I do.
Your top? You have a top 2?
I do.
Okay, let me hear it.
Number 1, all lenders offer the same loans.
Oh, that's a good one.
And number 3, the rate is all you should shop.
Yeah, I agree with number 3. And then I also chose number 2. I shouldn't talk to a lender until I'm ready to buy.
Yeah, that's important.
No, for everyone's sake, please don't do that. Okay, are we ready to move on to agent myths?
Yeah.
All right, let's start with number 1. I can't even do it without giggling.
Number 1, real estate agents just open doors.
Just open doors.
I don't even think we really need to elaborate on this one.
I mean, I feel like our listeners, agents who listen know. But the public, I don't think is this dumb.
Yeah.
I think that there are maybe people out there who feel like, oh, you're not doing enough for your money. But I think you're well aware I'm not just opening a door.
Yeah.
There's a lot to it. Now, some
much.
agents are doing more than others.
And now the new NAR marketing campaign is trying to make
it's more than just opening doors.
Commercials that show what we do as far as inspections, gathering permits, planning and zoning.
We need to get that message out there.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, next up, the sellers always pay the agents.
You know, always is not a good word
to
use. I actually find whenever we first had the buyer brokerage agreement become a requirement, I found myself educating a lot.
Yes.
And saying, you know, as of August of last year, this is how it's, structured and this is how it used to be structured. But we're in 2026 now.
Yeah.
And it feels.
You never say that anymore? I've had a couple people ask questions and like.
Yeah, I still do. Especially if they're a first time seller.
Right.
Or a second time seller. Because I'm like, the way you did it before
that's harder.
is different
They're
now.
the most confused. Buyers
Yes.
don't know the difference.
Buyers don't seem to know the difference.
They never knew, really.
And it's just our job to explain
And first-time sellers, I think, probably also, depending on what they read online, if they're completely uneducated, then they really don't care either.
Yeah.
It's the ones who've done the process before, maybe within the last 5 to 10 years, and actually remember or are expecting that.
Yes. I think what's important about this statement is that however you structure your business, you need to explain how you're doing it.
Right.
There are some agents out there that are still having their sellers sign listing agreements, blanket agreeing to pay a buyer's agent. They're allowed to do that if they want to.
Yeah.
I think it's a little unusual, but however you are doing it, your client needs to understand how you're paid.
Mm-hmm.
If you're representing a buyer, you need to explain how you're paid and that you are going to write in the purchase agreement requesting the seller to pay you on their behalf. And if the seller counters or doesn't agree, it will then become the buyer's responsibility.
And then they have to pay.
They just need to know.
Yes.
So however you are doing it.
And I think every market is really getting kind of fractured on this.
Mm-hmm.
Ours, thankfully, as usual, handled it, I feel like, really well in the contract.
Yes.
Where it's very clear it makes perfect sense. And the seller is basically saying up front, I'm paying my agent X, and either I'm checking one of these blanks. I'm willing to negotiate to pay the buyer's agent. I'm not willing to pay the buyer's agent, or I am offering X to the buyer's agent up front.
Right.
I don't know that I would ever have a seller check anything other than or recommend.
I'm willing to negotiate.
I'm willing to negotiate.
Because you don't even know what you're agreeing to.
What are the terms of the offer?
What if they bring you an awesome offer and you're like, I'm not paying for this?
Yeah, right.
You know? So you don't know what you're agreeing to.
Okay, do the next one.
Alrighty. Agents only care about commission.
Yeah, I'm just in it for the money.
Yeah.
Give me the money.
Mm-hmm. You're going to buy this house. Because if you don't, I don't get paid.
I feel like there's got to be better ways to make money than being a real estate agent. It is hard.
Man. Yeah, it is super hard.
It's not easy. I certainly care about my clients, their goals. I will proudly say back in the day when they used to tell you what the commission was being offered on your listings, I never swayed a client from seeing something because the commission was lower.
Right.
It's like, this is the house that's right for you.
This is what we need to do.
This is how the cards are falling. I'm just going to deal with whatever that is.
Yeah.
But there are agents that maybe do care too much about their commission, but not any of the agents here.
We just had that desperate agent episode.
Right.
And that would be a good one to go back and listen to, because I think a lot of times this happens almost on accident because they're in financial distress and they need a closing.
You gotta get paid if you're working.
Yeah.
It's hard.
All right. The next one. All agents are the same.
I mean, I feel like I got it. Okay, yeah.
I feel like, we just skip right. Anything, same with the lender stuff.
Yeah.
Same thing applies. How does your agent work? What do they do for you?
Yeah.
Are they full-time? Have they been in the business a minute, or do they have good training? Are they with a reputable broker? Like, we're all different.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next one.
All right, go on.
I like this one. Once I'm licensed, I know what I'm doing.
Oh my God.
Dear Lord.
Right.
I don't really think I've used anything from my licensing class.
Well, I mean, I know the law-ish.
Yeah.
And I know maybe like a lot about agency.
Yeah.
Like, as far as the law goes.
Like square foot to acre.
I did learn some math that I use regularly. But it doesn't tell you how to show a house, how to list a house, what to do during the process, how to behave during an appointment, how to do a seller intake call or a buyer intake call, how to get business. None of that.
That's what we're here for.
Right. None of that is in there. So no.
By the way, we love that our brokers out there are using our episodes to help train their agents.
That's what they're here for.
It makes us so happy because you are helping us train the industry and bring professionalism back.
Right. We're just trying to fill that hole, that gap in the industry.
We want y'all to be good at this.
Yes. Once you're licensed, you're licensed. That's about it. You don't know what you're doing. Maybe you have a good mentor. Maybe you have a good broker. Maybe you're out there on your own in some cloud brokerage, just sitting in your house on your computer thinking, what the heck am I supposed to do now?
Right.
Okay. Do you want to do the next one?
Man, they really get upset when we make money. Agents make so much money on every deal.
What?
Yeah, that was Yeah, they think we're overpaid,
Okay,
which is what you had alluded to. One time I
fine.
sold a shack. I call it a shack because I don't think you could live in it.
Okay.
I sold it for $9,500. It was 45 minutes away. I drove and drove and drove and drove and spent about probably like $250 on gas.
Yeah, to get there.
And I had to go back all the time for different things. And then anyway, my commission check came in at $300, and then I paid my brokerage, and then I lost a little bit of money.
You lost money.
Yeah.
If we count, you lost money.
So anyway.
So it's funny because sometimes I do have it's hard to mentally reconcile. A higher priced house makes you more money. A lower priced house makes you less money because you're paid a percentage.
Yes.
In the immortal scheme of things, it levels out over the course of your year or your career, right?
Yes.
But yes, maybe I made more money doing exactly the same amount of tasks as when I made less money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just kind of is the way the structure is.
And sometimes you just feel like you're breaking even on a deal.
For real. For real.
Mentally, emotionally.
Right.
What about that?
And financially.
Yeah.
Okay, next one is agents should always know the answer immediately.
I always tell my clients, like when we're seeing 6 houses in one day and they're like, how old is this AC? I'm like, listen, I wrote down the property disclosure notes, but once we know you really like a house, I'm going to do a deep dive and we're going to get all the answers to what you need to know.
I saw a video not that long ago of an agent who said, oh, when I was new, I would just make stuff up.
Oh, dear.
They would be like, how old is this roof? Oh, 5 years old. Like they would just literally make stuff up. And I'm like, first of all, in life and in real estate, because that's the context we're speaking in, anyone who knows the answers to everything immediately, you should be very leery of.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm going to know everything about every house. Now, if it's my listing, maybe I know, but I just can't imagine. And as an agent, you shouldn't be so worried about answering. You should be worried about answering correctly.
Accuracy.
So, hey, I'm not sure. I think it's this is an okay answer, but I'm going to double check.
I'll confirm.
Or I don't know. I will find out.
Mm-hmm.
You can't guess.
Right.
Well, by looking at this roof, I'd say it's 6 years old.
Right.
I mean, how would you know?
You would not know.
How would you know? All right.
Last one.
Well, I got an extra one after this.
Oh, cool. Okay. Next one. Agents are always available.
That's the worst.
Always.
No.
Don't you want your commission? You better answer.
I mean, we're not available 24/7, regardless of what the billboard said that you saw.
Yeah.
I don't agree. We can't be.
Right.
I got to sleep.
Yep.
I have to take a day off every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I got to take care of my family.
Doctors, attorneys.
Maybe I'm sick. I got to be able to call out. Who do I call out sick to?
You don't.
I remember one day I had all of these showings scheduled and I woke up and I'm like, I am sick. And I'm like, I got to do this. And I was like, I can't do it. But now I'm like, who do I tell? I'm like, I guess my client. Hey, I have to call out sick because I can't do this.
It's not going to work.
You don't want to meet me like this.
Right.
Ugh, okay. I have a final one.
Okay.
Because I feel like I come across this a lot. Agents get paid by their broker.
Oh.
Like regardless of if you buy or sell, like they're being paid salary or hourly or whatever you think is the public, but that you're getting, and the way most agents are structured in their brokerage are making $0 until a closing happens, until a buyer buys or a seller sells.
Yeah.
$0.
No money.
None.
Sometimes never.
So also maybe don't judge them if they need a side gig.
We have a whole episode on when you don't get paid.
Exactly. It happens more than I'd like to admit.
Yeah.
It's true. Okay, what are your top 2?
Okay, I actually went with all agents are the same.
Okay, me too.
And once I'm licensed, I know what I'm doing.
Oh, my last one that I put in my top 2 was agents are always available. Always.
I think I went with I know what I'm doing because I get frustrated with non-real estate people who say, I think I'm going to get my real estate license because I always thought that looked fun.
Yeah.
And I just want to be like.
It can be. I have moments that are fun.
Yeah.
But as a whole, this is not just, it's just fun, wall-to-wall fun. Because calling a seller and telling them you have to reduce the price because no one's coming to see it, not fun.
Not fun.
There's a lot of pieces that are not fun. Calling the buyer to tell them that their offer and multiple offers was not selected, not fun.
No.
There's a lot of not fun.
Mm-mm.
Fun. Going to closing, signing the docs, and giving the keys. Fun.
Having your buyer change their mind for no reason. Not fun.
Not fun. Not being able to find a house in their price range.
Not fun.
Not fun.
Mm-mm. So many things.
So many. We could make a whole episode of
Not fun.
not fun.
Not fun.
Not fun. Okay, those are all of the myths we have for today.
Okay.
I hope that brought some light to some things if we have, buyers or sellers listening, but also if we have any agents listening that would like to add some, please reach out. Let us know.
Yeah, we're here.
We're here. Okay, that's it.
See y'all next week.
Okay, bye.
Wait, before you go, if you enjoyed this episode and if we brought you value, take a minute to rate the show, leave a review, or drop a comment.
We are giving away our best stuff for free. Find it at hustlehumblypodcast.com/freebies.
We'd also love to see you in Hustle Humbly community. Join us there at hustlehumblypodcast.com/membership.
We love chatting with you in our DMs. Find us on social media at Hustle Humbly Podcast and say hello.
If you have an episode topic or someone you'd like to toast on the show, please email us at team@hustlehumblypodcast.com.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Hustle Humbly Podcast. See you next week.